this particular one we're doing from my notes, it's 2 articles, and this is the one towards the end that makes reference to the significance of the Norina's articles being in the source from which they come from, not the meaning, more or less. You know, the what's important is the source, and the only requirement is not to understand, but to read them with reverence, which everyone, I just love that. It's a great thing. So anyway, I'm going to share here. Let's see. Okay. Very good. So we'll get started. You want to start?
No, you start.
From my notes by Princess Norina Matchebelli. Old or new forms of religion cease to appeal to us when we begin to experience the inner life. The spiritual experience is a more positive and vital form of religion than the old externally established ritual, which is outwardly to create the intellectual thrill through modes and meanings, having become crystallized mental formalism that leaves us so cold. When we speak of the new spiritual awakening, we mean the deep order in being that is beginning to dawn in us due to the unfathomable stir in this cycle of spiritual resurrection. Man has not experienced yet the difference between the real feeling for truth and the outward expression as intellectual conception of what is ideal, good, pure, and selfless. No one who is really acquainted with the inner expansion of the conscious existence shall ever discontinue to have the profound, pure faith, which is knowing that all that is in existence is guided by the supreme will that in us is yet unconscious, uncontrolled, unwillingly used in most human beings. Whatever we think is unconsciously used by the impersonal pure will, which is in so many forms and terms the same one only divine existence. Whatever we may see in this experience of the divine will, which is supreme and superior to our conscience, is indeed rare. Man will come to acknowledge in the inner order of his own mind that the supreme being is the superior will, which is coordinating in use of our whole human faculty, that is the unfathomable guidance, the supreme order. Whatever we think or whatever we try to make ourselves feel through the autosuggestion of our imagination of that which is unfathomable, unseen, unknown, is vague. No one unless awakened within the knowing realm of his divine existence can come to know what he owes to be, what he was, what he is, and what he will become. The spiritual state within as the scient order of being is fact, which we shall experience. We shall bring it to full existence when we realize its real order in use as the pure, selfless conscience. Meher Baba has incarnated in this plane of the mind to make us realize our divine, pure, selfless conscience. It is not for us to make use of it, as we could in no way react in it by the ordinary means of our own intellect. We need not worry about this unconscious state that in us is merely a passing phase. But we need to realize that it is passing phase and that it is unconscious state and that it has to be overcome by the ways of life in its two-in-one growing shows, making us conscious. Throughout all this life, the two opposing powers of our individual existence have real cooperative interest. No man in himself is right when in the disputing mental state he wants to do the negative reaction of that which is in him the established right view. He must be selfless in whatever condition, situation, or form it is to be expressed. The right viewpoint is only one, to be unselfish.
What we need to know is that whatever we aspire and whatever we try to understand or whatever we do in order to make it clear to ourselves is real and good, the realizing show, which has to clear the unconscious state of our subconscious ordinary mind. This is more or less the viewpoint of our modern psychology. Modern psychology has reached a point where the subconscious mind has become a science show in which the human creative experience is modified through the intelligence. Our mind as the intellect, which is more or less good or bad, or right or wrong. This superficially conscious form of thinking within this realm of life that is uncertain, unrealized, unreal, nor good nor bad, is far too small a science mode to realize the divine intuition existence, which is in every individual the latent state that has to be found within the ordinary human eye. Man in his own mind has no capacity to grow beyond his mind, which is I, its own way, as universal, as finite, as unconscious, as indivisibly realizing, as it is but a motion that has in its own another realized order, which is that of which the mind has but a small inclination to find out. We need not to be unconscious. We need not to be indifferent to the divine existence in us. We need not have a little scheme to live up to, but we must live up to the divine realization order and fulfill the divine theme. This mind, which we call individual, is in us divine and real when it is realized. When we become able to say, I have come to see and I have come to know that the divine order within, as conscious self, is in me in every realization reaction. I have come to understand that within me is the divine mind that is the order of God. It is a rare treat to come to a point of real realization of this creation condition within, in which we have to see, know, and feel how it is possible to live in this world, to react to any of its ordering reactions and effects, and at the same time to conscious exist and feel the unselfish order in being. We must find the realized show in us as the divine existence by lifting the head and the heart. It is to self-react in use of God. It is to live in use of the mind as being. It is to show imperative in I, the use of God in us as conscience. God is in search of us. He comes disguised as the selfless servant of mankind. His greatest miracle is to lead us blindfolded to the meeting point in us with Him. When we abstract all religious intellectual conceptions from the real experience of the divine existence, we touch the pure basis of life spiritual, and that is the feeling for God. The temple of the living God is in us. The most sublime of all religions is the heart. It is that love that draws its essence from the source of all existence. It is sharing, giving the unchangeable benefit. Meher Baba mystically replied to me by the following answer to my thoughts.
When I come to the world in the form of a human being and make the supreme effort to be a divine human being, I have to bring to conscious realization within that which real, pure, good, unselfish. No other mental method will suffice in this new age of transmutation from the individual I to the infinite I. This unself-reactive order in the intellect that is done by me in a way that no one can see is to be taken for granted by you and those of my disciples who know that I am the God-realized one that has to bring to this plane of the mind the new spiritual resurrection. This so-called unself-reactive way to realize within the realm of the spirit, the deep creation order that is to know, to see, and to feel, is my so-called miracle in this epoch of the new cycle. When you say that the human being has to consciously realize within himself as the ordinary human being, the divine intuition, you say the right thing. The right thing is that no one except those whom I choose to become more realized within come to know me as I really am. Whatever this is, I here can only say, it is to see me as I am. When I say that this is all, you have to accept it and no more argue. You have to feel it, and in this, understand that it is all supremely important that you do in every way what I in you or out of you do realize, and this is to obey and to make use of every minute of this life to fill yourself with the divine radiance that is coming through me. This radiance is not yet an order in this human, ordinary, conscious mind. It is going soon to be a deep order, and it is soon going to be a deep upheaval, and it is soon going to be a profound, aware realization of truth in those who see. To see means to understand that which is not to be ordinary or merely individual and of the intellect. So have it be cleared in the minds and in the intellects of those who come here to see me that I am a human being that has come to make the world as much realize of its own divine existence as the human self is in readiness to realize. No more could be told to the ordinary human inquiring intellect than this. Say it to all who have not yet understood what is the divine life in themselves, that I have not yet felt the right, real reaction of them, wanting to realize in being. This being of which everyone makes use as a term to express somewhat a superior realm of consciousness is a rare state in which men have no real self-satisfaction and experience of their own existence.
There it is where the mind does not want to give in. There it is where men do not want to really and truly capitulate and consciously give up that which is unconscious. That which is unconscious is the head. In many ways, the human real reaction within, in the realm of being, is as far unconscious as it is in the reaction body, which is the so-called individual I. No one has really the desire to realize above that which is unrealizable through the process of dual thinking. Make no further effort to explain to people who are within unconscious of this unfathomable existence that I am that which is divine in a form of human being. Come to me, all who are heavy laden, and I will free you from the burden of your suffering. Come to me, all who are unself-conscious in the divine existence, and I will give you the way. Come to me, all who are unrealized within and unself-reactive without in the intellect, and I will see you out of that show of unconscious divine expansion, out and on to the pure form of being. Whatever I here say, it is for you to use and not for the world to understand. As in these words is my life, that which is in you the being existence. You know very well that I am the very being that has come to existence for the good of mankind. To make it clear, I have to perform the life of every human individual. That is to say, I have to come down to the level of every human state of consciousness. I make it clear in them by being them as they owe to be and as they show to be. For that same purpose, Jesus, Mohammed, Zoroaster, Buddha, Krishna came into human existence. They did not come to give life and matter and body and human advantageous conditions. They came to strengthen in mind and embody that which they must have in order to come to a new conscious state, which is the pure, unselfish, winning will to overcome all limitations, all bindings, all individual customs of thought and experience.
This is all clear, but who is right at that point to win and to win and to win? I repeat it 3 times, as in these 3 times, I order within the subconscious and in the realm of life that is more spiritual as human creation. And in that other side of the human creation, which is real and divine. In these 3 forms or bodies, I make the divine upset, and I create that which I here come to say to be the new evolutionary order to awake in the realm of life, which is yet unself-conscious in the head and in the heart of men of this earth. No one is no more or no less my life here has to bring into existence a very deep human mental state out of which man has to see, to know, to feel that it is I who have come to give this divine upset. The divine upset has to be the supreme expansion in consciousness possible to be obtained in man. The supreme expansion of the conscious existence in man has to be the new form of free religion. It is no more to be called by any name, but it is to be felt. It is no more to be conscious in intellect, in form of idea or thought. It is the being that in this mind of the human creation has to conscious realize and see and be. Today, I say this for the new age that has to come and no more for the past earth conditions that I have to pass. I say this to make it clear that I have come not to establish any form of new religion or creed or school of thought, but that I have to come to put straight the human conscience. Let's see. Mayor Baba continues his statements. I have not come to bring another ideal of truth, but to give a real impulse in the realm of I, which is yet unawakened. This scient being that is in you and in a few of my disciples, consciously cooperating with me, is to be held as a deep, unfathomable fact that has come into existence because as human being, you have evolved to a state of scient existence within. This mystical state has no more, no less a value for the external manifestation of you as human being that is more conscious of the divine I than it is a more or less important realized show that in this age has to be agent in the human being to lift, to upset, to stir, to put right, and to realize the order which is impulse of realization reaction, new aspiration, divine imperative longing. These factors of life in the spirit have to be stirred in more than one way in this human creation, while I am here in the form of a human being. Now, when I say this, it has merely to show how it is important that you, as a disciple of mine, try to consciously realize the intuition expansion and at the same time do the real intellectual effort to cooperate. These two ways of cooperation are the exact ways which I want the human mind to cooperate when I shall set in motion the divine power of the Word.
This time is not far. It is not far that I shall make it clear through the inner circle that the mind within and the mind without both are mind in the universal sense, and both are in the division of intellect and universal mind, that which I mean by head and heart. These two forms of living within the realm of the human limited mind as the intellect, and of the divine limitless and indivisible yet unrealized realm of the human as being, as spirit, as self, as one, as I, or as the divine existence, has to come to profound joining cooperation. When I say that it is time that man and the divine being come to one only state of life that is unself-conscious in the intuition, unself-conscious in the intellect, unself-conscious within, in the realm of being, I make it to be when the time is due, the union of the I and the other I, or the human I and the divine existence. All this now is too premature for the world to see. That is why I am not manifesting more than which is divine. This, what I here say, may be used to explain at large the real way I am doing the upheaval in the mind of this human creation at the stage in which it is now. These few words that I have stated here, I wish to have really and truly used and made clear in all who search for me as a guide. The play of opposites which the human being is never able to understand unless he has overcome his limited I can in no way be realized. This means what I have been telling you in my own mystical language in many of my talks in previous messages. This mind that we come to realize is merely a mode to understand that which we have to realize. No one is able to realize this mind that is in use of the divine pure element. No one is able to fill the heart with divine being essence. No one is able to form within the other I, that is real, that is good, that is unselfish, without my coming into existence and bringing to this I that is limited and unconscious the experience of its divine existence. Such facts as to be identified with my divine I are rare. What I meant saying What I meant in saying I have not come to bring any new form of religion or external form of thought about God and the theme of self in realization is that it is so, as in this one, as the I, as the portion indivisible, as the individual I, is God, the divine existence. It has to be a joined order of realized existence in self and in I as the human creature. Nothing can be of greater use than to see me work with the God-intoxicated men. These men have had the deep, profound experiences of truth in its light state, which is identification of the I as the portion with the divine I being in it immersed and self-conscious of its act of being. Its radiant realization show is so pure, so enchanting, so unfathomably intoxicating that these men have no way out of it. They must come out of it in order to be identified with what is more than themselves as the portion divine, as the I indivisible, real, unselfish. They must become one with the one all I, and that is God. That is truth. That is being identified with the supreme realized show that is, whatever is, oneness of existence.
Here I leave it to men to imagine what it is to be unself-conscious in the head and realized within in the realm of pure existence, which is light, radiance of being, knowing that this is one all I, in which they have no separate existence, of which they know no divisionary thought, of which they have no real conception as idea, but in which they have the truth form of being. This must make some impression to the ordinary individual mind that has real longing for some realization of what is yet the mystery of divine existence. Whatever this will do in them who see me work with these God-intoxicated men is far more than you or anyone can understand. I am in them the divine, pure being that creates good, that creates through these pure, worthy, selfless, unconscious creatures, a radiation of good that works into the manyness of I. All around these human creatures that have no sense of whatever is the external I life is radiant of good. What this human form can give to the world is unfathomable good, real, pure expansion of the life that is in them realized. No one has ever seen how these creatures show the evidence of being in themselves, the light that is radiant good, pure existence, which is real divine. Remember to tell everyone who comes near the small house that in that house is God functioning as human being, making them realize deep and pure that which they should win in wanting to realize the same as these God-intoxicated creatures have been winning throughout lives of self-sacrifice and untold self-denial, self-chastisement. Self-conscious in them, I, as the human working God, do the wonder of realization in everyone who is inclined to come to see me for that pure, real purpose, to be in themselves free of the limitations of the mind and free of the bindings of their individual I, and unself-reactive within in that realm that is unfathomable mystery to all who have not conscious realized what is the goal of this life. Give me 1 second of your existence, and I will return it to you free of these quests and bindings. Give me 1 second of your whole individual existence, and I come to you and free you from that which is unself-conscious, unreal, uncreative, in that other side of you which is real, which is divine. Give me 1 second of your whole existence, and I will give you more of that which I have to give, and which I am giving unendingly in every ordinary and extraordinary way of me as a human, selfless servant of mankind, as love. Give me you as human creation, whether good or bad, whether real or false, and I will make you one with that which is me. I am here not to make men believe that God is the unrealized state, impersonal in existence, which has to be realized impersonal in being, but to make men know that God is right in them, right there where they are good and bad, where they have no way out of being that what they have to be. When I say this, it is that I have to make it clear in very simple language to all who will read this. What I have been saying in the unfathomable, mystical language till now through you is more or less the same as meaning. The unfathomable, mystical language has this advantage over the intellectual, philosophical way of speaking, that it is straight from the supreme source from where it is creative, unrealized, pure expansion of conscious existence. It has the advantage of deep, unself-reactive, real order within in being. Apparently, it is unfathomable and unintelligible, but it is far more than intelligence realization. It is pure being realization. In this realm of knowing, the thought has the creation power of being clear, pure, unself-reactive in the head, but real expansion in being. Whatever is the meaning, it is radiation of its pure source of existence. No one needs to understand my mystical language, but everyone must read it with reverence and realize that in the realm of I indivisible is I,
invisible.
and realize that in the realm of I invisible is I, the one who is doing this expansion in conscious order, who has to bring to the surface the radiant order of this creation show unfathomable.
No one needs to criticize my mystical way of being, as in it I have the order to function and to do and to realize that which is the being. So let it be told to all who have read and not understood my mystical message that I am in it the pure order. This is sufficient, as in this I give everyone the right direction how to make more use of these mystical messages. When I here have spoken the ordinary philosophy of life, unself-reactive in the head as the human creation, I have done it to give you the certitude of me being within the realized show that is in you seeing, knowing, and feeling. In this you have to earn the truth, which is the exact opposite of its own form of realizing through seeing, knowing, and feeling. When I hear say this, it is because I know that you are ready to give in and to alive die for the truth. To alive die means not to think, not to react, not to experience, and not to self-realize, but to see in me one only pure wonder, and that is to identify yourself within in my wonder eye, and that is you as pure being. Come to me all whenever necessary, and I will lead you out of the puzzle of doubts and of misinterpretations of what is real. I have nothing to say but to bless all those who have come to see me and those who have come to donate me their lives. To give up the life is one way to come to me. To give up the being is the other way to come to me and to be identified with me. So let it all grow still, quiet, and do not worry. I shall not miss to real and true give the help when it is called for. When men come to me asking me to give enlightenment on this quest through which they have to grow, and that is to realize their own self and to be their own self as the portion divine of me, I have seen that those have been shown through their own martyrdom in self-realization to come to a new turning point. This turning point is to see me and no more. Let this be the turning day out of which they will arise free and sure and strong and unselfish in every way. With this, I close the day's work and give all my benediction.